My wife's sister declared at a family dinner that she could have done far better than me. I smiled and said, likely. Then I pulled my investment from their family business. 3 months later, they filed for bankruptcy. I'm 38, male, and need to vent because the fallout has been wild. My wife, Sarah, 36, and I have been married for 8 years. Strong marriage, great teamwork, but her family is where things get messy. Her sister, Fiona, 41, has always had an issue with me. I'm a financial consultant who works freelance, not flashy, but I earn well and excel at my job. Fiona married Ethan, 43, who inherited his father's textile import business. They live in a full luxury world, leased Mercedes designer clothes, constantly posting about their perfect life. Here's what most didn't know. 3 years ago, Ethan's business hit a cash flow crisis. Overseas suppliers demanded upfront payments, clients delayed invoices, a classic pinch. They needed capital fast, or they'd lose major contracts. Sarah pleaded with me to step in. Family, right? I just sold my share in a tech startup, not massive, but a solid 6-figure payout. Against my instincts, I invested $180,000 for a 30% stake in their company. Legal contracts, attorneys, everything documented. I stayed a silent partner, avoiding daily operations, just collecting quarterly reports in my profit share. The business recovered, my investment saved them, and they've been profitable since. I received my distributions, everyone seemed content. Or so I thought. 2 weeks ago, we attended a dinner at Fiona's for their son's birthday. Pleasant night until Fiona's 3rd glass of wine. She started rambling about how Sarah was always the beautiful one, could have married that lawyer from college, or the hedge fund guy who adored her. Then she stared at me and said, I mean, she could have done so much better than, well, you know. She gestured at me. A consultant. Really? She settled big-time dead silence. Sarah's face flushed. Ethan suddenly became engrossed in his napkin. Their kids, 16 male and 14 female, looked horrified. I just smiled and said, likely. Fiona laughed, at least you get it. We finished dinner quietly. On the drive home, Sarah apologized profusely. I told her it wasn't her fault. The next morning, I contacted my attorney. By midday, I'd filed notice to exit the partnership and demanded repayment of my investment. The contract I'd insisted on 3 years ago had a clause letting me withdraw with 90 days' notice, recouping my full investment plus accrued interest. I wanted out. Ethan called within hours, frantic. Man, what's this? We can't just pull together $180,000 plus interest. $195,000. Then figure it out. You have 90 days. Is this about Fiona's comment? She was tipsy. She didn't mean it. My decision's made. See you at the buyout. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then it's been chaos. Update 1. The entitlement has hit new levels. First, they tried emotional manipulation. Fiona called Sarah, sobbing about how I was ruining their lives over a drunken remark. Sarah stood firm, proud of her, and said it was my money, my choice. Then came the family ambush. We went to Sarah's parents' house thinking it was a casual Sunday lunch. Nope. Intervention set up with Fiona, Ethan, and their kids. Fiona's daughter, Lily, was coached to cry about losing her elite school. Their son, Connor, mentioned his college dreams. Ethan showed a spreadsheet detailing how they'd need to sell assets, possibly lose their house. My response. You should have considered that before insulting your main investor, Fiona flipped out. It was a joke. You're this fragile. What kind of man destroys a family over hurt feelings? The kind who doesn't bankroll people who think he's lesser. Things got interesting. Ethan slipped that they'd already sought loans. No one would touch them. Their credits maxed, the business properties leveraged, and without my capital, banks see them as too risky. Then Fiona said something that sealed their fate. Fine. We don't need your money. Ethan's business survived before you, it'll survive after. You did us a favor. Now I don't have to pretend to appreciate you. Ethan's face paled. Fiona, stop. No. I'm done acting like he's some hero. Anyone could have written a check. He got lucky with that startup. He's still just a dull consultant who lucked into my sister. I recorded it all on my phone, legal, in my one-party consent state. Sent it to my lawyer with a note. Make this buyout ironclad. Last week they tried a new tactic. They started telling people I'm vindictive, wrecking family over nothing. Fiona posted on social media about family betrayal and money corrupting people. Some friends messaged me about doing the right thing, being the bigger person. My favorite was from Fiona's book club friend. Real men don't ruin families over words. Grow up. I ignored them all but documented everything. The 90-day deadline's nearing. They've got 60 days left. From what Sarah hears, she's fully on my side but still talks to her mom. They're panicking. Ethan's hunting for investors but no one's biting. Their business only works with hefty cash reserves. Without my stake, it's a shaky structure. Best part. I ran into Fiona at the supermarket yesterday. She marched up to me. You win. Happy. You're destroying my kids' futures because your pride got hurt. No. I'm reclaiming my legal investment. What you do with your business after is your issue. You're pathetic. This is why Sarah deserved better and yet she chose me, the pathetic consultant whose money you gladly took. She stormed off. Their entitlement is unreal. They genuinely believe my money is theirs by right. 60 days to go. Update 2. The desperation's turned absurd. With 30 days left, Ethan tried selling partial stakes to other investors. Problem. My 30% stake includes a right of first refusal on any sale. Every potential investor learned I was exiting and backed out. No one wants family business drama with the stable capital leaving. Fiona tried financial manipulation. She convinced her mother to call me. This kind, 68-year-old woman who's always been good to me, was crying. I don't understand why you're doing this. Fiona made a mistake. Can't you forgive family? I explained it was a business decision, not personal. Then she dropped a bombshell. Fiona says if you don't stop, I might have to sell my house to help them. I called Sarah immediately. Fiona had guilt-tripped their mom, suggesting she might need to mortgage her paid-off house to save the business. Sarah went ballistic on her sister. Their relationship's essentially done. 2 weeks ago, things got legally spicy. I received a letter from a shady lawyer, not Ethan's business attorney, claiming I breached fiduciary duty as a partner and that my withdrawal was meant to harm the business. They threatened to sue for damages. My lawyer chuckled, sent a reply with my contract proving my right to exit, records showing I never managed operations, no duty to breach, the recording of Fiona saying they didn't need my money. And a warning that frivolous lawsuits would face a fierce legal counter. Haven't heard from that lawyer since. Last week was the peak. Ethan showed up at my office, not aggressive, just broken. Men to men were losing everything. The house, the business, everything. My kids. I can't provide for them. You had a profitable business. Figure it out. We used profits to grow. New machines, more staff. We assumed your capital was locked in. You assumed wrong. That's why contracts exist. Fiona's falling apart. On anxiety meds. Can't sleep. Not my problem. Then he tried the family angle. We're family. Your niece and nephew. Think of them. I am. I'm thinking how their mom thought it was fine to humiliate me in front of them. What does it teach if there's no consequence? He left, defeated. Almost felt bad. Almost. Yesterday, with 10 days left, Fiona sent a formal apology letter. Not an email. A physical letter. 3 pages of regret, admitting she's always been jealous that Sarah found stability while she and Ethan struggled to keep up appearances. She blamed business stress for her outburst. It might have been sincere, but it ended with, I hope this apology helps you reconsider your decision. Not about remorse. Just the money. It's always about the money. Sarah's been amazing through this. She's told her family she supports me fully. What clinched it for her was them dragging her mom into it. Our marriage is stronger than ever. 8 days until the deadline. They still don't have the funds. Update 3. I didn't think they could stoop lower. I was wrong. Fiona went full scorched earth. She spread a story that I've been financially controlling Sarah, isolating her, managing all the money, and that pulling my investment was me punishing her family to maintain dominance. She called Sarah's friends, claiming I keep her from family, control our finances, and this business move is about power. One friend, Claire, called Sarah worried. Sarah lost it. Went to Fiona's house for a shouting match the neighborhood overheard. Sarah warned that one more lie would lead to a defamation lawsuit. But here's the twist I didn't expect. Ethan's business partner, Mark, who owns 20%, contacted me yesterday. Offered to buy my 30% stake for $200,000, more than I'm owed. I was wary, so I investigated. Mark's been planning this. He knew Ethan and Fiona were overspending. He knew they couldn't handle a major capital withdrawal. He's been quietly positioning to take majority control. If I sell to him, he'll own 50% and can push them out entirely. Mark and I met for coffee this morning. They've been draining the company, he said. Lavish business trips that were vacations. Fiona's on payroll as a branding consultant doing nothing. Company cards for personal expenses. I've documented it all. Why wait? Needed the right moment. Your exit gave me the opening. They can't buy you out. I can. Then I control the board. It's brutal. It's cold. It's exactly what they deserve. I'll need to review with my lawyer, I said. Of course. But decide fast. My offer expires with your 90-day notice. Here's the beauty. If I take Mark's deal, Ethan loses his father's company. The thing that defines him, gone. And it's all legal. Fiona doesn't know about Mark's offer yet. She's still scrambling, now trying to get a high-interest hard money loan. Ethan's begging suppliers for extended credit or investments. Everyone's declining. Their son Connor contacted me yesterday. He's 16, seems like a good kid despite his parents. Uncle, I know Mom was wrong. But can you give us more time? Like 6 months. Your parents had 3 years to show basic respect. They didn't. This will ruin my life too. No, it'll change it. There's a difference. You'll adapt. He hung up. Can't blame him. Sarah asked last night what I'll do about Mark's offer. I'm taking it. The extra $5,000 covers legal fees, and knowing Ethan will lose the business entirely is poetic justice. Fiona belittled me while taking my money. Now she'll see what happens when the dull consultant stops tolerating disrespect. 2 days left. Told Mark I'm in. Papers signed tomorrow. They're about to lose it all. And I'm sleeping soundly. Final update. The bankruptcy filing hit exactly 92 days after I withdrew my investment. But I'm jumping ahead. On the deadline day, Ethan called 18 times. Fiona sent endless texts to me and Sarah. They'd scraped together $140,000, borrowed from friends, maxed out credit, even got their church involved. Still $55,000 short. Their last effort was showing up at our house at 10 p.m. with a $140,000 cashier's check and a promissory note for the rest. Ethan looked like he'd aged a decade in 3 months. Please, this is all we have. Take it and give us 6 months for the rest. My deal with Mark closes tomorrow. That's when Fiona learned about Mark. Her expression. Pure shock. Mark. Our Mark. He's buying you out. For more than you owe me, actually. She turned to Ethan. You said Mark was with us. Ethan stared at the floor. He knew it was over. The next morning, I sold my stake to Mark. Smooth transaction. Mark called a board meeting and presented evidence of financial mismanagement, voted Fiona off the payroll and demoted Ethan to a salaried employee with no authority. Ethan could stay under Mark or leave and start over at 43 with no capital and ruined connections. He chose to leave. Pride, I suppose. Within a month, they sold their house, barely breaking even with their loans, pulled their kids from private school, and Fiona got a job at a PR agency, earning $45,000 a year. Ethan's a sales rep for a fabric company. Together, they're making maybe half their old business income. The bankruptcy was personal, not business. Without the company's revenue and with personal debt from their lifestyle, they couldn't keep up. Chapter 7. Clean slate but their credits ruined for a decade. Here's the twist. Connor, their son, reached out last week. Asked for help with financial planning. Kid's working part-time, saving every penny, determined not to end up like his parents. I agreed to guide him. Fiona's livid, but she can't stop him. Sarah's done with her sister. Their mom understood the truth after the bankruptcy and learned about Fiona's lies. She apologized for initially siding with Fiona. Last week, I ran into Ethan at a cafe. He looked drained. Mark's changing the company into something Dad would have despised, he said. All tech and cost-cutting. But profitable. Yeah, very. Then Mark's a better businessman than you. He stared at his coffee. Fiona still thinks you overreacted. And you? We got what we deserved. We took you for granted. He paused. I never thanked you for that investment 3 years ago. It saved us. We just forgot that. You didn't forget. You thought you didn't need to remember. He nodded and left. Fiona still posts online about overcoming hardship and discovering true family. Comments are supportive from those who don't know the full story. Those who do? They've pulled away. Sarah asked last month if I had regrets. None, I said. They showed their true colors. I showed them the cost. The funniest part? My consulting business is booming since this went down. Business owners respect someone who enforces contracts and keeps emotions out of deals. I've landed 3 new clients who said they want someone who treats business like business. Fiona was right about one thing. Sarah could have married that lawyer or hedge fund guy, but she chose me, the dull consultant who values respect, contracts, and consequences. And honestly, that's more than enough. Edit. Since people keep asking, yes, it's legal, yes, lawyers reviewed everything, no, I don't feel bad. Respect costs nothing. They chose not to give it while taking my money. That's on them.